I'm Gamer of the Year. But you know what I'm not? I'm not an Emmy Award winner. The Emmys last night. And I'm so sad to say that we didn't get the Emmy. Lost it. We lost it. And you know what's even worse? An Emmy loser. Yeah. That's me, Markiplier. Ah, man. You know, it's funny. And this is gonna sound us very strange. Because it paints a view into a world. That music might be a little loud. It paints a view into a world that I am very unfamiliar with. Well, actually, I'm very familiar with it, but I choose to ignore it very much so. Just like I choose to ignore a lot of the things that come along with being in the public eye sometimes. So I go to the Emmys, right? And there's a red carpet. And let me be perfectly honest. Like, I was honored to go there. But as far as events that I've gone to, this was one of the more underwhelming events. And it's kind of that preconceived notion where you think that things like, and this is going to sound disparaging to the Emmys, it's not, it's just what it was and what I would compare it to other things that I have gone to. It was extremely underwhelming. And the thing is, I hate red carpets, right? Look, I'll get to the game in a second. You want me to play the game? I get to talk about my experiences. Anyway, the carpet wasn't even red. It was purple. I was like, what is this? This isn't even right. So anyway, I hate red carpets in general. Red carpet is just a blanket sweep term for it's an opportunity for all these publications to take pictures of you. And so it sounds all fancy, and you know, a lot of people would probably look at that, like, wow, that's great. It's really boring, and it's really awkward, and it's really weird. It's a super, and I was like, do I have to do it? And it was like, they were like, you're nominated. Of course you have to do it. I'm like, why do I have to do it? He's like, why wouldn't you want to do it? And I'm like, I have no desire to do that. And it was like, no, you're nominated. You gotta do it. And so I did it. And what's fascinating to me is that even 6 years ago, and the last time that I did a red carpet, which was not I did not volunteer to do it, and I hate doing it, it's just so pompous and it's stupid, is back then I was perfectly understanding that I was at a movie premiere and like no one knew who the fuck I was, and I didn't care about it anyway, and it's whatever. So this one, I was nominated, right? I'm nominated for an award at there. And all of the publications there still didn't give a shit who I was. And this is fine. It's not a moment where I'm like, do you know who I am? What amazes me is that if any of them were to interview me and put those videos on YouTube, they would do exceptionally well for their channels. When I appear I've done like Wired interviews and I've done like things like that, those videos do well. And I'm happy to do them because I'm always happy to talk about anything because I love to talk. I love talking. I love talk blabbing, and you love listening me talk. You love listening me talk, dude, because I hold you hostage to watch this fun game. You want Choo Choo Charles? You listen to me talk because I love talk, and I keep talk until you listen. And when you listen, then I play, but I play later. It's one of those hilarious things where it's not that I'm offended, right? Because I don't care. I don't want to be there in the first place. But it amazes me. It amazes me because they didn't just not know who I was. They actively didn't want to talk to me. And it's this world where YouTubers and the traditional entertainment business are not in sync with each other. They are adamantly opposed. They don't not know who I am. Because if they didn't know who I am and they choose to not interview me, that's one thing. I understand that. That's perfectly fine. But I was nominated at this event, and therefore they, if they're good at their job, would know who I am, and then they would know the value of talking to me and getting a video of me on their channel, and yet they don't. And it goes to show that there is still a fundamental disconnect in the world from YouTube content creators and Hollywood and TV and whatever. And it's a world that I don't want to be part of. And I think that I actively don't want to be part of it. And that's what makes this animosity kind of pervasive, because they realize that I and none of my fellow content creators need them in any way. And the moment that they acknowledge that reality, that everything just kind of falls apart for them. And it's really hilarious. It's really interesting. No, I'm not mad because I'm not losing anything from not talking to them, because I don't gain anything from talking to them. A lot of people think of publications as a thing like, oh, it's exposure. It's like, oh, it's good for you. There is no exposure that could even remotely compare to what I'm able to do on YouTube and what so many other content creators are able to do on YouTube. And whenever I get a view into this world of like the traditional entertainment business, I step back and I go like, oh my God, I have it so much better here on YouTube. When I'm able to hold my audience hostage, I'm able to grab them by the scruff, choke the life out of them. And I'm like, I'll play the game when I feel like it. You want Choo Choo Charles so bad, don't you? Do you want it as bad as you want to breathe? And that's when you get to play. I'm going to play now.